We are live. Woo!
Sounds good.
So nobody in here yet, obviously, but
Will you see them come up when they come in?
they do. They pop up in the little, I don't know, there's like a little people icon.
Huh.
But I find like usually unless you start talking a little bit, nobody comes in. I've tried to test it and I've gone like 8 minutes with nobody coming in. So I feel like the algorithm or something about the AI sees you or hears you talking and then pushes people your way.
Yeah, makes sense.
I have no idea. So for anybody watching the replay, I'm here with Jody, Albert, Maas. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep, correct.
All right. And I'm going to mention his book, The Time Is Now. And I've read this book and I really enjoyed it. I was trying to figure out how do I classify this book. And I would say it's more of like almost a biography in a way, because it's all about you coming into your powers, abilities, stuff like that. And so for me, I was like really interested in learning because it's nice to hear it from another person of how I became comfortable with this or that ability. And anyway, from reading it, that's what I gathered. If I got it wrong, please correct me. But I really enjoyed this book, and certain parts of it really spoke to me. The part where we're talking about a class that you teach, but you were also saying, here, I'm going to actually quote it because, I don't want to give the whole book away. I want everybody to read it, and I'll drop a link in the comments. But your age, your sex, your race has nothing to do with it. Start now. I often share with people that they must start. Take a step, and as you listen, acknowledge and respond. And like you put those in capital letters. Respond to the information that is around you. More insight and ideas will come to you. And I think that is so basic, but true. And I think a lot of the times people think that, oh, you know what I mean? To meditate or to get messages, you need like a yoga mat and like a studio and lighting and all. You don't need all that. You need to acknowledge, listen, and respond. And so reading that, and now is probably like the third time I've read that, but reading that every time makes me think, you don't really have to put a lot of thought into this. If it's going to come to you, it's going to come to you. Wouldn't you agree?
It's true, and it really is that simple. Like, I know in my life, I always thought, I don't have enough knowledge, or I don't have enough tools, or I don't have enough of this, and I always found ways to put things off. The real key is not to be hard on yourself and just start. Just start.
Right.
Don't be critical about your technique. The intent is so important. And the acknowledge and respond. We all have, we call it ideas. We don't know where they come from. And we get them and we let them mull around in our heads for weeks and days and years, and we don't do anything. Well, I've learned that if you respond to those ideas and take a step forward, you'll get more information. It's the way it works.
Right. No, I
Oh,
agree.
I see how this works now. I see the people coming in. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Like I have an Arcturian connection. I don't know if people understand that, but my message isn't mainstream. It's not about someone giving you messages, and it's about the information is all around all of us. It's a simple message. It's not complicated. It's just about acting. Show the effort.
Also, I would agree with like listening. There was another part in your book. I don't know the exact page, but there was another part in your book where you mentioned you were making a walking stick. And you mentioned that, sometimes when I'm creating things or trying to listen to things, that I'll put them near my bed when I fall asleep. And you said you had a table that you'd put them near, and like when you wake up, you feel more acquainted. How do I say that word? Acquainted? More
Yeah,
friendly
I know
with
what you
the
mean.
object, right? So you're more of an acquaintance of the object. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. But you know what immediately popped in my head when I thought of that, reading that part again today? What do I stick next to my head when I sleep is my phone. So I thought about another friend I have. She puts her phone on airplane mode. Hello, please don't be a hornet. She puts her phone in airplane mode next to her bed, which is probably beneficial because, I mean, how else are we supposed to get these messages from, like, if we're making a walking stick or often crystals? Sometimes I'll put crystals by my bed. I wonder what you think of that. Do you think that the Wi-Fi kind of skews up our message?
I have this conversation a lot with a lot of people, and there's only so much we can do. Like, you can take your cell phone and set it out by the road and go to bed. Those signals are still around you. You know what
Right,
I mean? So I believe that if we're strong in ourselves, the healthier we can be in the physical, and again, moderation is a key to everything, right? No extremes. So just
right,
try to put good food in your stomach. More importantly than anything is the thoughts you have in your mind. If you're worrying all the time, if you're thinking negative thoughts, that's going to do more damage than what's in our environment. So
right,
my whole like, I don't want to be a pool swimmer. You can be the best swimmer in a pool and then you fall out of a boat in a lake and you drown, right?
right.
So same with all these signals and everything. Oh my goodness, I don't have this device, or I don't have this pendant, or I don't have this crystal, and now I'm out there and it's going to get me. That is more harmful than being positive, being confident in yourself, and knowing that everything's energy, frequency, and vibration. So raise your vibration.
Nope. Good point. Good point.
We can
Because,
only we can only do so much in life, right?
yeah, and I think about the Wi-Fi a lot. I think about, like, okay, so my property covers this amount, and then my neighbors cover this amount, and then their neighbors cover, you know what I mean? And how many times are we overlapping in Wi-Fi, right? So if Wi-Fi is the problem and nobody's shutting it off, then we have to kind of rise above it. This
But all
hornet
Wi
is
all
right to my.
Wi-Fi is your internet signal coming into a router and being retransmitted out to your phone or device. That's Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
The cell phone signals are still everywhere,
True.
even if you
True.
didn't have Wi-Fi. It's
That's a good point.
the signals are still everywhere. So what are you going to do?
Good point. Very good point. No, that's a very good point. Because I have a lot of people, couple friends who are really diehard about put your phone on airplane mode. But you're right, that would only, I guess, like, cut it down around your persona, but, like, it would be all in the air depending on where you live. Like, if you're in an apartment building, you're going to be covered with everybody else's Wi-Fi, everybody else's cell phone. That's a
Everybody
good
else is
point.
smart meter. Everybody else is, the only way to do it is to put it in a Faraday cage and isolate the phone, and then it won't work. So no matter what button you hit or what setting you
Right?
put it on, if it works, it's not, you haven't done anything.
No, that's a very good point.
So I don't
Very.
worry about it. I just do what I can do, and I need my cell phone.
One of your recent videos, Jody, I watch you mostly on YouTube, but also on Facebook sometimes and Instagram. If you guys are wondering, he's at Jody Albert Maas, Maas, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Are you on anything else, sir?
Yep. TikTok and two X accounts, Twitter.
Ooh.
I'm
Oh,
on
okay, you're on Twitter.
Clapper. I'm all
I
over.
might follow you on Twitter. I'm not sure if I do, but if I don't, I've got to.
Yeah, I
Um,
got two of them.
I'm not on Clapper anymore, and I just hate TikTok.
You know
So,
what? We've talked before. I'm a firm believer. Right now, YouTube's good.
mhm,
Everything else is terrible. But I post on them all every day, and it's the only way because one will be good, and then it
right.
goes bad. Then what are you going to do if you only have one platform you put your videos on, right?
Great point. You gotta open all the doors, right?
Yep.
I recently watched a video you posted, I believe on YouTube, and it was you walking through your land, and you were showing like there was like construction equipment, and they're building all around you. And in that video, you were talking about how you're glad that people are coming to the country, but at the same time, why are they all coming to the same area? I
Yeah.
feel like I've recently been going through that as well. Since COVID, everybody's been flocking to Florida. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. And then once in a while, I'll see on YouTube there'll be some clickbait, and they'll be like, "Oh, people are leaving Florida," but I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
So I don't know about your area, but the infrastructure where I live is really feeling the strain. And if they're building all these high rises, but they're not changing the roads, all I'm running into is more and more traffic. And
It,
so, I mean, it's great to have more economy and more people here, and more cultures and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm feeling the pinch, like in the infrastructure. I don't know about your area.
yeah. Same here. We have gridlock. We can't go anywhere. There's no roads. There's no on ramps to the highways. Everybody comes to Southern Ontario. You know,
Funny, isn't it?
well, I don't understand it because Canada is a huge country, and it's a beautiful country. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's their families are here.
Maybe, but I also was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't think you necessarily live in the warmest area or anything. I mean, I definitely live in more of a forgiving area as far as weather. But being in Florida, the weather is a little bit nicer. I mean, because we have hurricanes, so during that time, in my opinion, most of it's just rain. Sometimes there's a lot of wind, but people don't understand what they're getting into when they move to Florida. I don't know about Ontario, but I just feel like they all think they want to live here until they get here, and then they realize they can't insure their house that is going to flood when the hurricane hits. So then a lot of
Yeah.
people move out. But I
Ours,
haven't seen the
our,
move out. I haven't seen the move out.
yeah, they're still building here. Like right where I live, they're putting three, I think, 9-story condos right next door.
I
You know,
saw
like,
that in the video.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Amazing.
So we only rent here. We rent in this house. So I don't know when we'll,
Oh, okay.
no, you could never afford to live here. The properties are just ridiculous. Average home price of a home in
Oh,
Milton's like $1 million.
you're kidding. Wow.
No, just for an average little home.
Yeah, the
So
real estate has gone through the roof here too. It's insane.
yeah,
And they don't even care, like, you can't insure the property or the house, because the insurance here doesn't it's there, but it's not going to help you. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it's like a pyramid scheme or something. I have no idea, but like, you can pay in, but it doesn't mean they're going to pay out.
yeah, that's always
It's
the
a
case,
gamble.
eh? It's a
Yeah, you're
gamble.
you're better off to self-insure if you can afford it, but most people cannot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's nice here in the summertime, spring and fall. Winters have been okay, but this year, wow, we got hit. It was like really cold for 2 months solid.
Okay, so you got the polar vortex going through your
I don't know
area.
what it was, but we had more snow this year than there was 3 feet of snow out in the lawn here.
Did you see that Florida had snow?
Yeah, I did. I saw that. Crazy times.
I'm telling you, I'm texting everybody. Hell froze over. I cannot believe it. But they have had snow here before. Back in the 90s, it snowed here where I live. So it's been since the 90s. So it's been a while. But I also wonder, like, is that part of, the created weather that we have, or is that part of the pole shifting that's going on, or is it just a normal part of the weather cycles? Like,
Who knows
who
what's
knows?
real anymore? That's the thing, eh? I used to go to these conferences and things, and I heard it said that in order to realize or to have experienced the real weather, you'd be in your late 80s, close to 90.
Wow.
They've been altering it ever since then for one reason or another, you know.
So then I've never seen real weather.
No, I haven't either.
Wow. That's sad.
So it
Like
is
right now,
unfortunate.
I always like to show the clouds when I'm live, but right now, this is what I'm looking at. Just The little puffs. These are rare. I rarely get these in my world, but
We had some of those the other day here, but we've had solid gray, no
really,
clouds, rain for
wow.
a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is this your planting season?
No, it's still a little bit early.
Okay.
March, April,
Okay.
end of 24th of May weekend, kind of around there. They put their seeds and plants in the ground.
Good. I hope that it's not going to affect that. Um, Now, let
Well,
me ask you this.
all our produce comes from the States, anyways.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
California, and all they were going to put a corridor up from California right up the center and bring all the produce up. Big highway system. I don't know if they ever
Wow.
did. Yeah, all
Now,
our stuff in the grocery store.
isn't that funny too? Since California has such issues with rain, this is funny. Why would all the produce come from a place that struggles for rain?
I don't
See,
know. I think we need to go back to our own little communities where everybody had a butcher in town, they had a
right.
grocer in town, farmers sold produce.
Or like, yeah, like I grow the zucchini and you do the tomatoes and we trade.
You got it.
That's what I'm talking about. That could be totally prime time here. I could get down with that. And I go to a lot of farmers markets. However, the problem with farmers markets is we're all under the same weather. So if it's a hurricane and they lose everything, everybody lost everything most likely. So this year in my garden, my home garden, we've tried a little experimentation here and there just to try new things and see what'll really work. But we're running into like issues like white flies and stuff. In Florida, it's almost impossible to organically farm. You can,
It's
but
almost
it's just,
impossible everywhere.
yeah. And you can
Unless
do
it's
it
in
here.
unless it's in a greenhouse, how do you prove it's organic?
Correct. And so you can do the organic farming here. And I've talked to master gardeners and stuff like that. But it's like it takes a specific type of soil with a specific blend. You've got to put a specific type of fertilizer, obviously, to keep it organic. And then you have to fight the bugs with other bugs. Like right now, I have white flies. So I'm having to buy green lacewings and release those in the yard to keep up on the white flies. And I'm like, this is like bug warfare to keep my little mini garden going. So I'm like, how does the United States even feed itself? you know, I'm
It
like
is.
mind blown.
Have you tried that electroculture?
No, never even heard of it.
You haven't heard of electroculture?
No,
You
I'm under
stick
a rock.
stick a stone stick in the ground with copper wires wrapped around it, and
You probably sell those, don't you?
no,
Oh, okay. Because
no.
that sounds right up your alley.
You can do that. You can do that yourself. Really, it's called
Oh,
electroculture.
I'm gonna
Stick
look
a
into.
crystal on top. Check it out.
I'm gonna look that up right now so I don't forget.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I've never heard of that. So that's kind of like sounds like biodynamic in a way.
they're taking advantage of the ether and the Earth's magnetic fields, and it everything's electrical, eh? So it enhances the
Oh,
plants. They even say that if you're planting by seeds, put the seeds in your mouth first and then plant them. The
really?
seeds will imprint from your saliva what they need to do to make you healthier, and they will grow and alter themselves.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Changing my whole farming practice right now.
Get out there
I
and spit on
need
your seeds.
I need the seeds to know what I need. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Right now, like we have all kinds of little things going on. Even my son got into it. He's got some basil sprouting.
yeah.
I've got all kinds of stuff here. Even like right in front of me, like got some zucchini or squash growing here and just all kinds of stuff. Like I can't even get over the garden we have this year. But again, there's so much to learn, right? One of the biggest things I notice on YouTube is the homesteading culture. Maybe it's because that's what I'm interested in and that's in my feed, but I feel like homesteading is just like everywhere. And the homesteaders always have these conspiracy theories they want to throw out. And it's just wild to me, but I'm trying to learn everything I can. And Florida
Yeah.
gardening is not easy. I grew up in Maine, which is more like Canada. And we just had such a small growing season. Whereas in Florida, you have like 3 growing seasons. It's interesting. It's very interesting to try to keep up with all of it.
Yeah. Gardening's a lot of work. Homesteading's a lot of work. Like it's a
for
full
sure.
time job.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's enjoyable though. It's nice to. I wouldn't say it's all relaxing. A lot of it's hard work, but sometimes it's just nice to just go out and water the garden, or whatever. Or if we get some rain, I feel lucky sometimes when we get rain because it's not been raining here the way it used to. When I moved to Florida 20 years ago, it rained every afternoon, specific time of day from 2 to 4, thunderstorm, hot and heavy storm every day, between May to, let's see, to probably September, like August, September. And we're not getting that anymore. We're not getting those rainstorms that we used to get. And so a lot of the times I'm watering the garden with a garden hose, which we all know is chlorine, right? It's not as healthy. Who knows what they're putting in the sky, but I still think the rain is healthier for the plants. It seems to make them flourish. So for me, it's kind of weird. I feel like I don't know even what my environment is going to be day to day.
None of us do. That's the challenge, eh?
Hmm. You guys having fires this year up there yet?
Well, I think they're still going on out west. I don't know.
Like they never stopped.
Yeah, who knows about what they are even? I
Mm,
don't know.
I know. Well,
There's
it's
a
funny right
conspiracy.
now. This area, I mean, Texas has fires. Miami has fires. There's fires in the Carolinas. They're all over the United States right now. I am blown away by the fact that, I mean, we're having a lot of wind, but I've also seen people. I have a lot of fans who are overseas, and I'm seeing people overseas talk about the winds. So it's strange that the entire planet is dealing with a lot of extra wind.
We had a lot of
Um,
wind up here, but I'm at a point in my life, like I'm older, I'm 65, so I've been around. I've learned a lot. And right now, I almost want to forget everything I've ever learned or ever thought because it doesn't make sense. Everything
right,
is changing. We don't know what's real. So that's why I meditate a lot. It helps me to stay focused and stay centered and stay calm because who knows what's real? I don't even want to research anymore because is the information I'm researching, is it fake?
right. That's another thing is the internet isn't a printed book. I can't go reference that in my house. I can dial it up online, but who's to say it hasn't changed? Right. Week to week, day to day, month to month, year to year.
Or they put information there to mislead everybody. I
Correct. Or
believe
they could
I,
honestly
be,
do it just for you
I
or
believe
just
that
for me.
they've 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 designed complication in everything. The math, everything to be an engineer, it's so complicated. And I think they do that. That's been done to scare people away. So they say, well, I can't do that. I can't figure that out. I think it's a whole lot simpler than that. I don't think we even need to go there. I think the
Right.
whole everything since the early 1900s, I think it's all been there just to keep us in check.
That's interesting. You might be right too, because how do we know, right? I
How do
think
we
about the
know?
I think about the simulation theory all the time. And I'm like, it almost makes more sense to be a simulation because so much stuff doesn't really make sense. But then, I have that nagging feeling inside. Well, what if it's not? And you're wrong. And then I'm like, I kind of have another voice that says, who cares? Like, explore it. And that's my open minded voice in there. Just explore the possibilities because, I mean, it might be a simulation, but what does that change?
Nothing for me. I can't do anything. I don't care if the world's round or flat. You know,
Correct.
I've
Here.
had those thoughts just like you. I've thought,
Yep.
meditate, meditate. I'm going to become enlightened. I want to become enlightened. And then as you start getting down the path, I'm thinking, what if it's a trap? What if I'm wrong? I'm going in the wrong direction. I've had those
Yes.
thoughts often.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like my open minded voice is like, just explore every avenue.
Don't be a blind follower.
Just open your mind. And like, I'm
Oh
trying.
man.
I'm trying. But a lot of what we grew up with, I feel like, especially you and I, like, I'm not your age, but I'm still feel like I'm on that cusp. Like the Generation X, I think, was the cutoff, and I'm on the edge of that. And I feel like after us, there was a little different kind of indoctrination. But when we went to school, they definitely indoctrinated us with this and that. And I don't know. Now they're doing things that I couldn't even believe. But I just feel like, I try to keep that open mind no matter what. And it's hard sometimes. And people will, they'll pick on you or, you're this or you're that. And it's like, oh, well,
Well,
at least I have an open mind.
I remember being in like grade 4, and they were doing history and like Marco Polo and all this stuff. I do remember sitting there thinking, what makes you think we believe this stuff? Like, this is so crazy, But then what are you going to do? You can say, no, I don't believe it. And then where are you? So
Right.
we kind of had to go through the system, right? To
We
fit in.
did. And then I wonder what would have happened to me if I didn't.
Yeah.
Would I still be a buck the system kind of person if I didn't go through the system? So
I've
the
known a
system
lot of, yeah, I've
system
known,
and the indoctrination of it maybe created my mind to be the way it is.
yeah, I've known a lot of very successful people, and most of them, they didn't even get grade 9.
Wow.
All they had was, and I'm talking multimillionaires, they
Right.
had ambition. They saw a need and they filled a service, and they weren't afraid to go out and work.
Well,
And I
I
think
mean,
it's still like that.
a lot of people are like that in a way. I mean, I hate to use these kind of mainstreamers, but Bill Gates, right? Didn't he not go to college or not graduate or something? And then I believe it was Elon Musk went to like college for a day or something
Well,
like
what
that.
what these people are good at, and it's good for them, is they
Right.
have the ability to pull people together and manage them and get work. Well, that's the definition of a manager, isn't it? Getting work done through the efforts of others.
Right.
And that's so it's not nobody's fault. They create jobs. They do. I mean, I'm not knocking them. I haven't done it, so they put a lot of effort into it. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Totally. I wonder every day of my life, like how Bill Gates went from computers to like engineering jabs for mosquitoes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like how do you get on that path? You're like, oh, I can't wait. I don't know. Just really strange to me how you go from computers to, in- inoculating people with mosquito,
Yeah.
whatever. It's just bizarre. So, I
It,
mean, Elon Musk
it,
too. How does that man handle everything he's got in his hands?
you
How
don't.
does
Yeah. You have people in places that manage for you. You can't do it all yourself.
I guess, but then he still maintains that I just don't even. He even has so many kids. I'm like, how? How do you have this many children? I guess the baby mamas or the managers.
He's got lots
I
of
don't know.
money. He can afford it.
I don't know how he does it. I'm like, I have 2 kids. I barely take care of that. Like
You're not Elon Musk. That's why.
I know, right? It's just funny to
He's
me.
reaping all the benefits of hassling me on TikTok.
Right. There you go.
Come and buy some Bitcoin. No, what you can't be
Okay.
real. Anyways, all this stuff we're talking about, you can basically throw it all out the window now with AI.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked into AI? Have you tried it?
Oh, it's wild. I did play with Chat GPT for a minute.
Try Grok on
I
X.
haven't touched Grok at all. I've heard it's way more advanced, and he says
Way more.
Grok
And you
3
get
is like insane.
way more time on it. And it's only as good as the questions you're going to ask it. So go way outside the box.
Wow.
And
Okay.
there are people saying now that the videos are on TikTok that AI is the go-between between us and higher vibrational beings, spirits, other dimensional
Interesting.
beings. They're using AI from that end. We're using AI from this end. There's
Is it like a
more and
bridge? Communication
more
bridge?
like an interpreter. AI is the interpreter.
Wow.
There's more and more people now posting those videos.
Wow.
Pretty interesting, eh?
Very. I'm gonna have to check out Grok because there was one point where I was pushing my X account because I wanted to go live on there. And I was going live here, but I was running into trouble with, I don't know, like, cause it's weird on here. The numbers are weird. Sometimes I'll have like 250 people when I do a live, and then it'll drop to 6, or whatever, like it is now. And then, so I was like, well, let me go on X and see if it's just the numbers or whatever. So I built up the followers. I go live a couple times. There's nobody in there. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody ever came on to my lives or anything like that. So I'm like, well, this is weird. Like, you would think that if you're going to do it, like, somebody would pop up, right? Never had any luck with it. I was verified, and then I think I just canceled the payment because I find it weird that you want me to pay to verify myself. Number one, I verify a damn license to drive here and
Yeah.
identify myself here. So why can't I just upload that?
They do it
But
because they provide other services for it. I've looked into it too, but I'm not going to do it.
they want the money and all that. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I did it for a minute, but I didn't see the benefit to it. So I kind of let it go.
Yeah, I don't do lives. I'm only here because you invited me. I don't do them. TikTok, why should I do anything? I can't even monetize. I'm Canadian. You know,
Oh, interesting.
why should I do anything? I've been shadow banned on there for years. Where
Hmm.
I got all my followers in the first 6 months of being on TikTok. I think I had
Wow.
25,000 followers or something,
Wow.
and
Good.
hardly nothing since.
I wonder why.
Videos get like 250 views and stop, and they'll get that 250 views in 15 minutes of me posting the video.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
it's called shadow banning. It's happening on all the platforms.
Yeah.
Facebook's getting better now, actually, because Mark Zuckerberg, well, your president down there is going after everybody who's against freedom of speech. So now
True.
everybody's putting their tails between their legs. So you just got to hang on these platforms. It's all going to
Yeah.
change. And if you've got a
Well,
presence there, it's perfect.
you bring up a good point, and something I remember from being on TikTok. Of course, I'm not on TikTok and I refuse it, but something I remember was that they had different TikToks, right? Sub
Yeah,
TikToks, I guess they
still
would call
do.
it. And TikTok conspiracy was huge, and it's probably even bigger now. And I loved it. I would get caught. I called it the TikTok conspiracy hole, and I'd just be going around, 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 around. And not only did I learn a lot that may or may not be true, but I really enjoyed it. And I know other people did, or it wouldn't have grown to where it is. And today, it's got to be even bigger. Well, YouTube went the other direction. And when Susan, who RIP, she's passed on now, Susan was running YouTube, it was squash the conspiracy theory YouTubes. And they put a big squash on it. They were shadow banned or whatever. And it just dropped off. I remember so many channels disappearing, people getting banned. It was a thing. And now I think they're seeing the error of their ways.
Well, the
I think they're
conspiracy
seeing.
people have been proven correct.
Yes, and a lot of them have gone to TikTok because they know YouTube's not going to put up with any of that crap. So why would they go back? But
They
I think
will.
YouTube's gonna. It's a detrimental thing for YouTube
It
because
will.
even if YouTube doesn't believe it, doesn't mean people don't want to enjoy it.
And and that's what it is about viewing hours, and a lot of times, like there's a lot of things I'd like to say, and I have friends that are 100% right, but their presentation is all wrong, so they get blocked
Right.
and accounts get. What good is that? How are you helping anybody, right? We can
Right.
talk about a lot of things, and if we do it properly, we're fine.
Right.
You know, and then people say to me, "Well, like I've had people on my shows, and I got to be careful now because I find people that create content, they get in there, it's good for them. They start getting followers, and it goes boom, right to their head.
Right.
And they morph. I'm sure you've seen them. They change, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So you just got to hope they can get through it on the other end without getting their accounts all blocked.
Right. And I remember quite a few accounts as the 2020 phenomena was coming on. A lot of accounts were going on the uptick, and then all of a sudden they start saying the wrong words, and it was like, and they were gone. So sometimes I feel like they almost want to trick you to ban you. Like,
Yeah.
been allowed to say the C word for a long time. I see channels saying it all the time now. But in 2020, there was a specific time period where you couldn't even say the C word or the V word. And, that's fine. But if you forgot and you just said it, or you had someone on your show and they said it or whatever, that'd be detrimental. Nowadays, I feel like I notice people saying it here and there, like as in a past event, oh, the C19 or whatever. And I mean, that's great, but I almost feel like YouTube is reversing its stance on conspiracy slowly. And I hope
Well,
so.
you just have to go to the government websites. All the information's there. It's public. It's not
I,
fake anymore. And the thing
but
is,
no,
a couple years ago, I'll say it's a couple years ago, this channel, when the AI came out, I mean, I got blocked on Facebook, all kinds of stuff. It was the AI making mistakes. And the learning curve has perfected it and gotten it okay. So now my accounts are fine. But the AI was going through the old videos that you had posted and looking for anything that they didn't like. And if they didn't like it, it was yanked.
right.
When Dr. Left Hand Thread here, he's saying about how the TikTok platform would push you until you got to a certain point and then it stopped. And that's correct. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yes. And one thing I used to notice about TikTok, I don't know if it's still like this, but let's say you hit it big. I had a couple videos go real viral. And if you start going too viral and people subscribe at too fast of a rate,
Yeah,
they kind
absolutely.
of shut your account down.
Yep.
And so you're like, I'm going viral and I can't do anything. Like, I
Yep.
can't even respond. I don't know why they would do that if that was just a glitch,
I've
but
seen
it's
my followers just going like this.
yeah.
Just ridiculous. Can't post, can't accept any new followers.
No, it's almost like they put you in a jail, like a Facebook jail or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're on pause. But it's like, if I'm good for your app and I'm doing this for you, why would you do this to me?
I could never understand it,
Yeah, I never did either. Something about TikTok is just wacky.
but I do it. I post there. I've cut my posting down. I used to do like 80 videos a day. So that's like take 10 videos and post the same videos on other platforms. So I wasn't making 80 new videos. But I
Right.
used to be now I'm down to I think I'm doing one video across the platforms and now I'm making longer videos for YouTube
Oh wow.
to
Okay.
get my viewing hours up more.
Yeah, on YouTube you got to worry about the watch hours, not so much with TikTok.
Yeah. If you want to
It
monetize, you know.
right.
And you can
And
do it. I ran into a guy at an AI show 4 weeks ago, and he does videos for house real estate, and he's got like 80,000 subscribers, and he gets paid from YouTube. It is a real thing. You will get paid.
oh yeah. Oh
Get your
yeah.
viewing hours up. You're
I know
doing
people.
well.
I feel like I'm doing well. I'm not monetized yet, but I'm on my way. And I have noticed like people when they first get monetized, they make like $1 a day or whatever, and then it will add up. But what I also hear is when I watch the interesting stuff about content creation, like the big YouTubers, they don't even make money off every video. It's like a handful of videos that make them most of the money.
Yeah,
So it's really about, your search engine, searchability and in my opinion, like being on trend or, just hitting something that's evergreen, like how to fix the sink, or whatever. And then you're going to get most of your views from those particular videos. And a video like me and you sitting here talking may not do a ton of watch time, but, if let's say, I don't know, like if your book like was a number one bestseller all of a sudden, then
yeah.
this video might pop back up and get some watch time. Does that make sense? So like I feel like it just depends on YouTube.
I've made an observation here. A while ago, I filled up maybe a year ago or so. I filled out a thing on here that said that they could use my channels to add commercials to if they wanted to, right?
Hmm.
And I always thought you had to have like a prerequisite kind of thing. But the little videos that they added their um, commercials too, they went viral.
Oh, well, that's
So
great.
yeah, but I think they pick and choose.
Yeah.
Like it should be because of the video, not because they put an ad on
Not
it.
because they pushed it
They're
because of their ad.
all these platforms are doing that. They'll push it and make this person. And that's why I say you really need to be on about 8 different platforms. Like I got, even on my Facebook, I have my feed for my name, and then I have the story, and then I have my page. So there's like 4 different sections just on Facebook that I post to. Eh? So you need to, if you really want to do this, you need to do it all. You
Right.
really need your podcast too. You need to get a podcast going. Not
I
on
know.
here,
I'd be
Spotify.
calling I'd be calling this a podcast, but it's not because I don't have the equipment and all
But
that.
you
But
you can take this. You don't need equipment. Use your iPhone. That's what I use. You
right,
can
right.
you can post these videos on Spotify, and there's your podcast channel starting.
That's a good point.
If you've got 90 videos here, put them on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different demographics of people. Some people will never come on these channels, but they'll listen to a podcast.
Are you on Spotify?
Yeah,
I am
time is
not.
now.
I'll
I've
have to
made
check it out.
99 videos. I just posted my 99th video
Oh,
podcast.
awesome. Good for you. Good for you. I don't even use Spotify as a music source, so I'm unfamiliar with it.
You can do
I,
short ones. I do 4-minute podcasts. I'm
mm,
there just to be on people's minds, just to, you're tuning in. Like myself, when I go to a podcast and I got all this song and dance and this beautiful music, and it takes 6 minutes before I can even hear the guy talk about what I want to hear, I hate
right.
that. I hate
Yeah.
that. I jump
Get
right
the
in.
point.
Jody Maas, Time Is Now podcast. Here we go. You know,
We appreciate that.
people's their time is valuable.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Especially, I mean, in America, it's all hustle bustle. Unless you work from home and you're just chilling at home, but even
Do you
that is
keep
going away.
do you keep all your old videos? You got all your videos, right?
I do.
Put
I
them on
do. I have.
Spotify.
Yep. I have all my old videos. That's a good point. I could upload them. That's a great idea.
And when you go to Spotify, it also goes to other platforms from your Spotify. I'm on Podbeam. I'm on Apple Podcast. I'm on a whole bunch of other stuff. Just put my name in the search engine, Jody Elbert Moss.
Smart. Smart. Very smart. See, I don't even think about like those things. I don't know, but that's a good idea. I should broaden my horizons like that. Um, I honestly, I would love to write a book like you. I just don't know how you had the focus for it. I start things and I don't finish. And
That's me.
I was glad that your book wasn't too big and that I was able to finish it multiple times. It was an excellent book. And if anybody is ever thinking about, like how to get started on anything, how to become more metaphysical, how to connect to the earth, I really think that your book is an answer, right? For me, it was very inspiring. And you even said it in there a couple times. Use this as inspiration.
Yeah,
And I feel like I totally did. And when I wanted to start this channel, you were the first person that I was like, I've got to talk to him. Like,
I remember that.
yes.
That's what I mean. You've done well. You've done really
Thank
well.
you. Thank you. I feel like I just keep trying, keep grinding, something will happen, right? Keep
Yeah,
flailing around. Something will happen.
yeah.
But I've tried to get in touch with big YouTubers, and I am in touch with a few. I'm in a group on Facebook where a lot of big YouTubers talk and connect, and that's been helpful. But I'm kind of against the whole, oh, take my class, come do this conference. I mean, there's like a whole lot of YouTube. I feel like it's almost, I don't know, I hate to say the C word, but it's almost cultish, where it's like, well, you got to join my club, be part of my members only.
That's how
You
they
know,
make that's how they make their money. They're marketing to you.
it is, and I get it, but then I'm kind of like, I'm very leery, like who I would accept that help from. You know what
You
I mean?
you you have everything in place. You're authentic. That's what people want.
I
Somebody
try.
somebody made a comment on one of my posts because they said I made a spelling mistake, but it was the spell check that did it. But if you're if you're gonna mark my spelling, like I'm there to
Right.
share information. That's what I'm there for, But
Grammar Nazi.
you've got to be real, and especially now with AI generate, they can create me the way I am now, and you would never know
Yes.
it wasn't me. People want to
Agreed.
know you're real. You're real.
I don't know if anybody's watched my TikTok video that I have here on YouTube, but I talk a little bit about TikTok and how after I was banned from TikTok, I had fans on other platforms sending me videos of TikTok AI copying me,
Oh yeah,
basically like running a whole platform, like running a whole account like it was me.
yeah.
And it had more followers than me, more likes, more followers. They were probably making money off of it. And I'm like, I didn't make that much money or have that many followers when I was on TikTok.
I just watched a podcast with Jordan Peterson and Jim Balsillie. Bill Silly was the guy that founded BlackBerry,
Hmm.
and they're now working with Washington and other agencies to try and put regulation in place that protects our content, that is us, so they can't do what they're
It
doing to you.
should. It should.
So
That's my likeness.
yeah,
Like if
so
I was
that
a sports star, like think about like if I was a quarterback, you can't just copy me, right? Like, but
yeah,
they insure their likeness. I don't have the money for insurance to insure my likeness, but content creators should have that. Would I agree to be a content creator?
yeah. But when we sign, yeah, I agree. Who knows what we're giving away?
Exactly. Do you read it? I don't read it.
But you just need to diversify and take the content you have and put it across some other platforms. Like for example, I just tried Eventbrite. So
Oh, okay.
I took Eventbrite, I formed an event through Eventbrite and put my Zoom. So it'll be a Zoom call. Market it's free, so there's no charge. I'm testing it. But
Nice.
Eventbrite promotes to a different group of people again, right?
Cool. Yeah.
So
Very good idea.
you got
Now,
to
when is
try
that going to
these
be?
Friday. It's on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Eventbrite. There's 12 positions open. It's free. Whoever wants to come, just register, and
Perfect.
we'll see how it goes. I still like to do my free stuff. I want to be there for the average person. Now I'll do workshops and things, but
Right.
this kind of thing, if I can give my time and help someone, and we have to understand that what we're going through, everybody else is going through too, right?
Right. That's a great point. It's a very great point. And I have noticed a shift, especially like, so they've been talking about it for years. I never really felt it, but I definitely felt it between January, February area, like a shift. There was like a spiritual shift. Maybe it was just me. I don't know, but like I felt it and I was like, things are changing and it's really going to be different. And it might be slow, but I
You
can
want
feel it.
you want if you really want to feel the shift, stop all carbs.
Good point.
No bread. I had to. I had a bad checkup about 6 months ago. Like they didn't know how I was still alive, and I'm not taking any pills. I just did a fast, a 72-hour fast, and I had to stop all bad carbs like processed sugar. I can't
Right.
eat bread. The only time I'm going to eat bread again is when I come to Florida and I get one of those Philly steak sandwiches.
Right. There you
But
go.
yeah, you just got to watch. And I noticed when I got off the sugar, I could feel it clearing my mind. It was coming out, eh?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you want to talk about being intuitive and psychic, and it amplified it.
You got a great point there. And I remember after I had my second child, he's 8 now, he just turned 8. After I had him, I went on a no carb, no sugar diet for like a year. And I had dreams about garlic bread, not gonna lie. I was
Oh
dreaming
yeah,
about garlic bread. But I remember feeling leaner, taller. Like I felt like a different being, you know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
felt taller, I felt longer, I felt more, my muscles felt different. Everything. Weight didn't stay on me at all. I don't usually have much of that problem, but anyway, but it just seemed like I, I don't know, like every aspect, my skin was better, my thoughts were more clear. So yes, I can totally understand that and I agree. Carbs are really detrimental, and a lot of carbs turn to sugar, and sugar's detrimental because
It's the
sugar,
sugar that does all the damage.
it leads
Everything.
to yeast.
Well, and that's what hurts your arteries too. Apparently, from what my research, there's a lot of good guys on YouTube. I follow doctors, and
Right.
Dr. Mindy Pels. She's does fasting for women, and I mean, just incredible information. The sugar does the damage. That's what damages your arteries, and the cholesterol just goes to fix that. It's the
Totally.
sugar that's causing all the problems.
Right. And then yeast is another thing that people don't think about, is like the sugar feeds the yeast in your body, which you're supposed to have a little bit, but the balance can get out of whack.
Yeah,
And that's when you really need to be careful, because it can cause brain fog. It
yeah.
can cause problems with, every organ you have. It can cause, in my opinion, I shouldn't say this, but it can cause things that lead you to need chemotherapy later on. So it's almost like it's a fungus that can get into organ and bone. And so if we cut back on the sugar, we cut back on the carbs, it cuts back on that possibility. And so I'm a firm believer in that. And I'm a vegetarian long term, on and off all my life, but 8 years solid. And I noticed a big jump from that. Lately, though, I don't know if it's just getting older. I feel like I've had more brain fog. Um, it's the sugar. It's the sugar, because
It's
I'll
the
often
sugar.
eat
Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
I'll eat chocolate. I love my spaghetti.
I know. I had to give it all up.
It's rough. It's rough. So
But
more
it
power.
gets to the point, like my wife and daughter, they ordered pizza on the weekend. So okay, I'll have a couple slices, right? No way, man. I did, but my body won't handle it anymore.
No, no.
So I'm okay. But don't forget your breathing too. Wim Hof breathing. Wim Hof on YouTube, free videos.
How do I
Do
spell that?
WIM Hof, HOF. That's his name, first and
Okay.
last name.
Wim
He's
Hof.
got
Okay.
he's got a 10-minute beginner video. Change your life.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. Where's my other phone? Got to look that up, because I do believe in the breathing stuff.
Well, it
Um,
changes the pH in your body. It,
yes, and that's
it
why I think when you're having a baby, the whole Maas and stuff like that can be very helpful. Guided breathing. Found it.
Find the beginner one. It's like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I do that. I do 9 rounds of 30 breaths.
Cool. Very
That's
cool.
every morning I do it after I do my meditation.
I went to Italy in 2007, and on that trip, this is right before I had children. But on that trip, I was probably in the prime of my life. I was like 27 years old, and I mean, it was just, living life. I ate some of the best foods ever. But we went to this spa, and it was an outdoor spa. It was a very interesting place. And they had this walkthrough. It was like a circular, it was huge, but it was circular. And I don't know how far the walk was, but it was really fun. We all were in bathing suits, and we were walking in this big circle with so many of us. And you would go, um, it would be like up the stairs, walk on the land, down the stairs through the water, and then up the stairs, onto the land, down the stairs through the water. And the first pool was freezing cold, and the second pool was so warm. And so you were like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And they said it was so good for your brain and the stimulation and the circulation. And
Yeah.
ever since then, I've kind of been into it, where I don't do this every time I shower, but a lot of times when I shower, plus I live in a place with we share the hot water. So when when I'm putting like conditioner in my hair, or I'm washing my hair, I'll flip it to cold, just to get that invigoration, you know what I mean? And it wakes you up, and it gets you, it gets your circulation going and stuff like that. And I really think it's healthy. So ever since then, I've always been kind of fascinated with the hot cold stimulation. It was amazing. And it was actually like, this was actually it was a spring. It was a hot spring. And so I don't know where the cold water came from. Maybe they fed that in like a pool. But the hot water was from a hot spring it was, the whole place was built on that hot spring. And people were coming from all over the world for that hot spring, because it was supposed to be healing. I don't know if it was, but it was amazing. And I'll never forget that. So I try to kind of recreate that at home. It's really beneficial in my opinion.
Yeah, I've done the 3-minute cold showers.
Woo.
I'm off and on, and I've been outside here with a snowblower, minus 19
Yeah.
Celsius, with no shirt on for 3 hours.
That's
It's
the
the
funny thing.
it's the breathing. It's the inner
Yeah.
fire. It's a form of tumo, which is Tibetan inner fire breathing. And
There
and,
you
and
go.
when you they say we're all, if you're into all the winds and the channels and all the acupuncture stuff, they say because of our diets and our lifestyles, we've become cold. So we have to raise that inner fire, and when we have
Okay.
that working properly, it'll alleviate 500 diseases because our bodies are working. We're only.
Oh.
I mean, I haven't been sick in years. At least 7 years I haven't been sick that I can remember.
Did you get this 2020 thing?
I never got anything.
You never got it? Good for you.
I don't
I
think
had it
so.
like 4 times.
Just
And I
take
had it
drink Mullen tea.
I had it before they even talked about it here. Like before 2020. I had it in the end of I guess it was 2019. The very end. It was like November, December. And everybody at my workplace had it. And then
Mm,
so when it started happening to everybody here, all over, we all kind of looked at each other and we were like, kind of sounds like what we all went through in November, you know?
yeah,
And we couldn't believe it, and then I kind of said, well, it probably came from Disneyland, because
yeah,
that's a global epicenter in Florida.
yeah, yeah.
And so if it was going to come over from overseas, I mean, it probably went there first and then spread up to us. But I remember thinking, like, wow, like we all had it before anybody even knew it was happening. And, then the rest of it, I mean, we were essential employees being food service workers, right? It's so ridiculous. And the ones of us who had it, we never got it again that year. So, and that was the worst time I ever had it. Was the first time was the worst. After every time I had it after that, the 3 times after, it was very light in comparison. Almost like, is it? Is it not? I don't know. So I wonder if we maybe built some antibodies
They
to
say,
it.
yeah, they say absolutely. But I've noticed if you do these breathing exercises, your breathing gets better. Everything gets better. You're not supposed to breathe through your mouth at all. You're supposed to breathe through your nose. If you breathe through your mouth, you don't get the nitrous oxide and all the other chemicals that your body
Hmm.
needs. So
Interesting.
try the breathing. You'll notice it. You'll
Totally
boost
look that
your
up.
nervous system up. Your immune system will get boosted.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to check that out. Like, I've
And,
never heard
and
that guy.
and fasting too. I do fasting.
I used to do a lot of fasting. Now I'm kind of on the train where I want to gain weight. But yes, the fasting can be so beneficial, even if you don't want to lose weight, but just for health, like to reboot your cells, to reboot your brain, even to like change your appetite. Because sometimes I will find myself craving certain things, and I'm like, I don't want to eat all this right now. And then so I'll go on a 3-day fast or a 2-day fast, even one day. And then after it, I'm not craving the same things over and
That's
over.
right. Yeah.
So they can be very beneficial. They also say they help you live longer and look younger.
Yeah.
I have heard that.
I'm not a religious guy, but all the biblical people and all the spiritual people through history, fasting was a huge part of that.
That's true. That's very true. Now, when you fast, do you just do water or do you
Yeah,
do
I do water.
no juice?
I don't do a dry fast.
Right. I
I
almost,
could. I've done a 2-day dry fast.
ooh, see, I feel like a dry fast sounds scary.
Well, some people fast and take supplements and do this and do that.
True.
Isn't it? Aren't you supposed to deprive the body? Isn't that what a fast is supposed to be?
Right.
So
I'm kind of a person where I need my water. Like, I don't know how I would do in a dry fast, but I've also done juice fasts where all I had was, and this is back before I was a vegetarian, I would do chicken broth or pick a couple different juices. Like, I'd usually do pomegranate or cranberry or something like that. Pretty beneficial. and just do a 2 or 3 day fast over the weekend, something like that. So I don't have to cry at work all day that I was hungry.
Yeah.
But, I feel like they were always beneficial. I never did one that wasn't beneficial. And I often recommend it to people. You should do a fast for a couple days. And they'll kind of look at me like, what? Why?
I found that with a lot of people, you make suggestions, and anything I suggest, I've done. I've tried it and it worked for me,
Right.
right?
Right.
I don't know. It's like that. Well, I'll do it later. I'll
Yeah.
do it. Give me a week. I'll ease myself into it. That's not how it works. You got to stop all the sugar.
Right.
You got to switch your body from eating sugar to eating fat. That's
But
how it works.
you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't
Yeah.
make them fast.
Can't make it fast. Yeah. So, you can just like you have making your video here. We're talking about stuff. If somebody picks something up, that's fantastic.
Exactly. And that's all I hope. Like, it says I have 0 people in here right now, but I don't believe that. All through this video, we've had, it'll say like 3 or 2 or 1 or 6, but we've had constant chatter in the comments. So
Yeah.
I just don't know if I believe the numbers on YouTube always. Never
I
worried
don't
about
worry about it. A lot about it. Like if this will get posted on your page, right? So that I can share the
right.
link and I'll put it across my platforms. It's hard on some of them, like TikTok. The links don't go. They don't work.
It's not the same.
No, so I do it on Facebook. I got 5,000 followers on Facebook, and I'll put it on my X. I got 12,000 followers there. So
Like on my Facebook, my personal one, I don't push my YouTube channel on there. I just don't. I've kind of adhered to that logic that if you push your YouTube out to people that are in your real life, they may not watch it and they may hurt your algorithm. So I
you
kind of
know,
like
if you're
follow
driving your
that.
car and you hear a funny noise, what do?
Keep driving.
Take it to the garage, right? Same
Right. No,
thing. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. You got to take it.
true.
I used to be like that. Oh, geez, every post I make, I put my website link to it.
Hmm.
I don't care anymore. I'm not shy. Who's feeding your family? You have good content. Content, intellectual property is key, and you've got lots. So market it. You don't even have to make another video. Just remarket what you have.
Right. Right. No, I appreciate that. And, and it's just weird. It's just Facebook's not the one I market anything on.
I would.
Not.
I share your Philly steak sandwiches from Facebook.
I love that. I see that all the time. Now, that's one thing I will market on Facebook is like, the business or, you know, um, oh, my kid did this in volleyball or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put like kid stuff or I'll put like, you know, my small local crowd, you're not local, but they see the sandwiches. They're like, oh, I'm going to have a sandwich today.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like whenever I've tried to put my social media on there, I used to put my TikTok on there. I didn't get a whole lot from it. So now I just don't even bother with it. I usually
I
use
don't I don't sh-
Instagram.
I don't share videos from TikTok. I have the video and I repost it. So when
Ah,
it
yeah,
goes to TikTok, it gets a watermark. I don't want that.
right.
So no, I use the same video, but you won't see any TikTok or anything else on my videos. Um, you've got a lot of good content. You can help a lot of people. So, and that's what I feel. I wake up every morning. There'll be a comment. No, your video changed my life. And
Oh, that's great.
that's why I do it. And I don't care what anybody says. If you don't like it, unfollow me. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
If we can help people, that's what I'm here for, anyways. And I know that's what you're here for.
Oh
So
yeah, totally. And I don't know. I kind of almost want to find the like-minded people. Like
you will.
I'm building a tribe, in my opinion. Like the like-minded people because we've been so dispersed, and it's hard to find these people anymore. And I feel like YouTube back in the day. Do you remember? You used to be able to direct message people on YouTube, and they took
Yeah.
that feature away. And I think that and squashing the conspiracy level videos was detrimental. And now I think they're really scrambling because they see how TikTok went whoosh. and how Facebook's going whoosh,
Oh,
and
definitely.
Instagram's kind of flailing around like a redheaded stepchild. But I just,
Definitely.
I really feel like they might backtrack on that, and they might change the way they're doing things and stop suppressing so many people, because what they're doing is they're saying, well, we only want closed-minded individuals, in this manner. And the open-minded people are kind of like, I'd rather go over to TikTok where they let me think.
But it's like fishing. You go to all different parts of the lake, right? You don't have just one fishing hole. Same with
True.
social media. It's just a place to contact people. Do you have a website?
I do. I don't really do much with it, but that's
Yeah,
coming.
but this is what you do. You're going to drive everybody to your website. They're going to see your link, and then eventually you'll get Zoom. I got
Right.
Zoom.
I have
I'm
Zoom.
pushing I'm pushing everybody to my website. Then I'll put a Zoom link there. If you want
There
to
you go.
come and be part of, then I'm not on a social platform.
Right.
I can do
Right.
whatever I want.
Make your own rules. Yeah, I
And then
agree.
you got everybody on an email list so you can keep in touch with them.
Right.
This
No, and
you got to pull
I
it
love
all
that.
in now. Pull it all in and
Yep.
take control of it.
Yep. Now, if anybody's interested, my website is rosequartz728.com. Jody, what's yours? JodyAlbertMaas.com.
728 728.com. Yeah, jodyalbertmoss.com or arcturians.ca. It's the same one.
Yes. Arcturians.ca, which is the Canadian version, right?
No, it was the Arcturian version. I do some
Oh,
pretty
okay.
out there stuff with my pyramids and stuff like that.
Yes, I thought like some of your Arcturian lodge was pretty intriguing for a while. I was
Yes,
watching
Wet
that for a
Lodge.
long time.
Yeah,
Very cool.
so that's what's basically my website. And now
That's
that
very
now I use AI and I use Grok, and for years I've had problems because I have a WordPress website and I never knew how to do anything on it.
right.
AI has taught me how to do my website, so I'm changing it
Huh,
all myself.
that's
AI is
great.
telling me, yeah. So I'm pushing everybody to my website. I'm starting with the Eventbrite where I can get reach people without going through a social media platform where I'm
Yes.
restricted. I don't want to
Yeah.
be restricted.
No, that's great. That's amazing. Good
Yeah.
idea. With Zoom, do you do classes or just meetups or just chats?
With Zoom, I was doing a weekly meetup. So I had a bunch of people. I went on social media and asked them to send me their emails, and then I would send them the Zoom link. But
Nice.
now, through using my AI, I've mixed my Zoom with Eventbrite and merged it with my online calendar, which I never had before. So now
Okay.
it'll all come up. It'll all go to Zoom. And I have to teach myself how to do presentations because I will be teaching dowsing workshops, energy
Yeah.
workshops, everything on Zoom, where I'm in control. Nobody can shut me down. Nobody
Right.
can restrict who sees it.
You could say what you want to say.
And that's what you need to do now because you're getting
Oh
a
yeah.
good following. And because, one day they'll come looking for you and they won't find you. And you'll be there, but nobody can find you.
Right. And that's true too, because sometimes they'll mess with the search
Yeah.
and they can't find you. I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Or they just, like with my name, a lot of the times they'll forget the number. And
Yeah.
the number is very significant in my channel, but like most people don't know why. But the number is very significant. So I put it in on purpose to stand out, to almost like it's like a mantra. So, no, I agree. I often try to push people to my website, but then I feel bad because I'm like, I'm not really doing anything with it. But there is an email list that you can link up for. And when I blog, when I do, um, you would get updates in that manner. But yeah, you're right, because any platform can go haywire at any time, block people for any word. So you never know. And it's best to always have alternative methods of contact.
Exactly. So people can always get a hold of you.
Right, right. A lot of the times, I've noticed I'll post videos like, for example, let's see, like right now, like I was having some puffy clouds and they have none now. And sometimes I just want to do videos about the clouds and talk about that. And like, how many views do they get? But I bet if I did it on Zoom, people would show up.
You
So
just
that's
say
a
to
good.
them, Yeah, and you can you pick a date, and say, okay,
Right.
we're going to have. You can pick how many people you want. I picked 12 for this Eventbrite, and but you can have. I pay for my Zoom, so I don't think it's maybe $25 a year or something. I don't know,
Oh,
or
it's not bad.
$25 a month. I don't pay the bills around here, so my wife is a banker. But
There you go.
anyways, I can have 300 or more people in a Zoom conference.
Nice.
So
Nice.
there are options. The free version, the only drawback is it cuts you off after 40 minutes.
Oh, good to know.
It'll
Good
send
to
you a
know.
10-minute warning.
Okay. That's
And
good to know.
If Zoom's not busy, they'll say, "Oh, keep running." But if it's busy,
Now,
they'll kick you.
Zoom doesn't have any rules per se.
I don't think they care about what you talk about or what you do.
That's nice because that's really rare these days.
Yeah, it's a private platform. You're paying for a service.
Right. And it seems like
You know,
everybody nowadays they want to micromanage what you talk
no,
about.
yeah,
Dude,
this isn't a social platform.
awesome. Do you
I
have
I
what is it? Patreon? Do you do Patreon?
I did Patreon and I said to heck with it. I put a whole bunch of stuff up there. Couldn't get any patrons really to follow me. And then they sent out a thing saying they were going to charge some crazy service fee every month when the membership's renewed. And I said, you know what? I'm tired. And they don't attract anybody for you. You got to promote
Right.
a crowd. What am I promoting for you? And then I got to so I said, forget it. And then that's when I went in, I started working on my website. Oh, I don't care if I start right from the beginning again. I'll be in control of it.
Right.
They
No, that's
change
good.
the rules anytime they want. And then you're snookered. You've built it
Exactly.
up, and now what do you do?
Exactly. You gave them all these people and then yeah, they flipped the script on you.
Yep,
No, I totally agree with you. And as content creators, I think we really have to protect ourselves because we offer a service. We're entertaining people, we're teaching people. There's so many things to this. We're opening people's eyes to many things that they may never have been involved with. Like, I never heard of an Arcturian lodge before I went on your site.
there wasn't one as far as I know.
I never heard of it. I've
Yeah,
heard of the Arcturians, and for some reason, I always had kind of a connection to it. I think I've talked to you about that a million years ago. And when I did my near death experience video on this channel, I described some beings that I saw, and I believe from what I've read that they seem to fit the bill for Arcturians. And it was just really kind of crazy to me. I'm like, wow, I guess can put a name with these faces.
yeah, yeah.
So interesting, very interesting stuff. I would never say, oh, there's nothing going on in space because I think that's crazy. But I've also always been kind of a believer in the firmament, and I
Yeah,
don't
here we
know.
go. Here we
I don't
go.
know.
I don't know. I don't think it's coming from out there. I think that's all a distraction because it's already here
Right?
and it's dimensional stuff.
I do believe in dimensional stuff for sure. I've woken up in that place between sleep and awake and spoken to beings that should not have been there. And
Yeah,
that was enough for me to know dimensional beings exist and
yeah.
maybe I'm one too. It was real
Well,
communication. And that being was not flesh and blood like me as far as I could tell. And it
I
wasn't
have
a
a,
ghost.
I have a friend. He's like a medicine man for the Medeoan, the High Medicine Society, the Ojibwe, and he was saying that I'm pretty sure we're like I think he said 7 dimensional beings. That's what we are. We can travel through 7 dimensions.
Wow.
But our lifestyles and our culture and our conditioning has put us in a box.
Right.
We got to get rid of that box.
Right.
Travel freely wherever we want to go.
Right. It's almost like shackles.
Shackles, it is shackles.
Holds us back, holds us down. That's a good point.
Yeah,
And then they talk about light body, you know what I mean? It's like I
yeah,
always thought about the light body as being like an astral body,
yeah,
in my opinion. I've had dreams where I went to places. This was so strange. I worked in a grocery store at this point in time, and I had this dream about 2 coworkers, and I walked through a restaurant and saw them sitting there talking, and one of them noticed me and said, "Is that so and so?" And they were like, "Yes." And I just kind of walked through. I was privy to everything in the conversation, although I wasn't always right there in the dream. And then 2 days later at work, it came to fruition that these 2 people were like having a quote unquote affair. And I remember saying, "Oh my, like I can't even tell anybody, but I had this dream." And then I knew in my heart that was astral projection and that I had walked through their moment, and that moment was real. And maybe they did or didn't notice me. Maybe that part was part of the dream, but it was so eye-opening to me that we are bigger than this body that we're in, for
Oh,
sure.
there's a lot more to us than what they want you to believe.
A lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I feel like so many people, they unless they see this on TikTok, they're not going to believe it.
It's true. And, even a lot of people, if they tripped over it, wouldn't believe it.
Exactly.
And that's where we just all have to pick our own path and go forward. But, you know,
Yes. Yes, totally true. Now, the Zoom thing, I'm totally into that. I would love to like do a Zoom with you sometime. Maybe we could do a dual Zoom or something sometime. Invite
sure.
people in. We could talk about Arcturians or something.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
I do all my podcasts on Zoom. And then
awesome.
and then Zoom formats the video for me, and then I take that video and I put it on YouTube and I put it on Spotify.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's genius. I wish I had time to figure all that out. I
It's
will have
so
to play
simple.
around with it.
It's not complicated at all. Now you got to be careful when you get in there because you can be clicking this button, and I just keep it basic. Um, there's a lot I have to learn, but I don't want to wait till I've learned it all. I wanted to start, and like I say,
Right.
I should post well, I'm doing an interview tomorrow, and then I'll do another podcast on Thursday morning, and it'll be up. That'll be my 100th podcast.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's very
People
cool.
they like the podcasts because they can listen in their
Yeah.
car, eh?
Yes, and you don't have to watch. And so
Y
that's very
y
liberating.
They can turn the video on or off, but the video does go on Spotify too.
Right. I've noticed that I'm like that too. Like when I'm cleaning my house or doing something like laundry or whatever, I love to listen to a video. But if they demand that I'm watching or I feel like I
Yeah,
should be watching or I need to watch, it's not as much fun. So
yeah,
podcasts, you're right. They do open that realm where people are multitasking and they want that brain stimulation while they're folding laundry or doing the dishes or whatever. So, or some people do it at work. They'll be allowed to listen at work, sitting in the car, driving through traffic. That's another good point. So, yeah, you're right. Like, I think podcasts really are underutilized.
yeah. Well, if you're not doing anything Friday night, join my Eventbrite. See if it works.
Okay, Friday night, what time? You said 4 o'clock?
No, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, and it's your Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay, so
it's
it'll be on
called the.
Spotify?
It's called no. It's going to be on Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Okay.
It's the time is now Zoom gathering. Yep,
Is it going to have the same logo?
yep,
I love this. I love this. And if you
yep.
guys want to buy Jody's book, I think I got mine off Amazon. I
Nope.
got mine many years ago.
No, you can get
No,
it on my website. I don't have it. I didn't deal with Amazon. Too
okay.
much complication there.
Then I must have got it off your website or off your
Yeah,
Etsy. So
probably.
albertmaas.com. If you
Yeah.
want to be able to spell it, there you go, right there, guys.
It's actually backwards.
I know.
You can change that in your settings, eh?
Can I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope I have smart enough followers that they can read it backwards.
Yeah, they'll hold a mirror up to it.
Jody Albert Maas, Maas, and it's an excellent read. It's what I'd call a door opening book. Like that book will open your mind just enough to get you going. And it's not so much that you're going to be overwhelmed and it's a hard read or anything like that. but it's a really easy read, and it really makes you feel, I don't know, it kind of set my mind at ease about things in a way. And it was really cool just to read like how you shared your experience with like coming into your own with your abilities and with your art. And I don't know. I can't talk about it enough. I hope everybody goes and picks up your book, jodyalbertmoss.com. And yeah, Friday night, you said 9 p.m.?
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time.
Friday night, 9 p.m., y'all.
There's
Go do
12 positions. This is a test one this week.
Okay, cool. Well, you're probably going to be overflowing now since I have like 0 people in here. I don't believe that. I don't believe the zeros. I don't believe
So
even the big numbers.
does this go up on your channel right away?
It should after it uploads. So it'll probably take a little less than an hour and it'll
Okay.
upload.
Then
I'll
I'll share
remix.
them.
Yeah, and I'll remix and make some shorts just for your Eventbrite.
Great.
Yeah, man. I really love connecting with you again after so long. Like, I mean, I always follow your stuff and stuff. We don't chat all the time. So it's really cool that we can do this. And hopefully we can do it again soon. I'm going to go check on my kids, get the whole dinner thing going on. They've got snacks, but I've got to get the whole dinner thing. And your phone is probably about to die, but
Yeah.
this is awesome. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. JodyAlbertMoss.com.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on.
Jody, thank you so much. I appreciate your presence.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yes, you're awesome, man. Like, you have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.